Hi and welcome to Luanda in Angola. I'm being hosted in this beautiful place by a nice lady, Eugenia. This video is part 3 of how I motovlog. Today I'm going to be talking about the part of making videos that comes after the filming. So traveling and filming, that's the easy thing. All you gotta do is keep your devices charged and have enough space on your SD cards. That's easy. Now comes the hard part. This is when you need to get structured and organized. And this is also when you're gonna see all the flaws. You're gonna see all the shaky footage. You're gonna listen to the poor audio, and you're gonna be realizing that you're missing some footage, some intros, some exits, you know, all the stuff that you're missing, and now you have to make up for it. Anyways, I'm gonna walk you through the steps that I do in order to get ready to create videos. Hello, lady! So the sooner you get into this part, the sooner you will also realize what kind of footage that you need to film. So my first step is to go through all the footage that I've made during the day. Ideally, I will do this in the evening, but that's not the reality for me. Very often I'm having to go through just hours of footage before I start getting ready to make the video. And that's actually really a problem because you just accumulate data on your SD cards. So in general, my advice is to make really short videos. You will often end up only using a few seconds of your videos anyways. So try to avoid having those like 10 minutes long videos. They're just a killer. They take all your data and it's really not fun to go through it afterwards. I constantly struggle running out of data, and I have a capacity of about 12 gigabytes. It's really a daily struggle, and the problem is that I record videos about 20 to 40 gigabytes every day, and I only do 2 videos a week, which is more than enough. It's a lot of work, I can tell you, but it means that I'm accumulating data and I'm not getting rid of enough data. So the sooner you can produce videos and publish it on YouTube, the sooner you can delete your footage. I record in 1080, 30 frames per second. I just find that if I film in a higher resolution, it's just gonna take up too much data. And I promise myself that I will not buy any more data. I will focus on producing videos. So I'm actually really struggling right now. I'm constantly, every day I'm running out of data space. So I'm trying to be disciplined at the moment. So the problem with the long videos, and like say you forget to stop the camera and it's just running while riding, I can't trim the videos directly on the DJI camera. I don't know if you can on any action camera. So I have to take out the SD card, put it in my computer, then move the video to my computer. Hello, Veronica. Hello. Then move it to my computer and then trim it down there and then move it back to the SD card. And that is just a lot of work.
Hello. Veronica.
Stop recording.
No. Mas, eu sou Verônica, eu não sei como falar direito. Vou falar uma coisa, não vou pensar um bocado. Você não pode me falar na minha conta? Eu sou Verônica, eu não vou falar como direito. Não, eu sou Vani e eu sou Verônica, tenho um pássaro e tenho um cão que chama Galata e outro é o Diesel. E a minha avó é a Vajaninha e outra é o Tiago. E então, tem uma pessoa que tem me deixa que...
The second step is to create a folder on my computer with a name that makes sense. I use day numbers, so that can be, for example, day 669, Lubango to Namibe in Angola. Then I move all related footage from all the different SD cards over to that folder on my computer. I will also look through my photo gallery and see if there's any photos from my phone that I want to include in this video. Finally, I will create subfolders, one for music and music license, and another subfolder for voiceover. So the third step that I do is to create a Word document, and in that I will put the text for the thumbnail. I will put the title and description for YouTube, the hashtags and tags for YouTube, And I will put the list of music and whether I've downloaded the license for the music. I will also put the voiceover in this document. And finally, I will make a list of to-dos, any outstanding that I need to do for this video. Could be finding a specific type of music or something like that. The next thing I do is that I write a short script for that video, and that can be pretty simple, just like intro, leaving the hotel, writing, music, background of the area. So just different things that I want to put into the video in that specific order. It just helps me to keep track, because otherwise it can seem quite overwhelming to just throw yourself into, 50 different short videos, and you're like, what should I include and what should I exclude? It can be quite exhausting. Then I start looking for music, and at the moment I'm using an online service called Envato Elements, and I find that is quite satisfying. There's a good search function. Before I used Artlist, and they also had a lot of good music, but I wasn't too happy about the search function. So now I'm using Envato Elements. I do sometimes miss a little bit more contemporary music, like for example African Amapiano. But other than that, it's a really cool service because you also get graphics, fonts, photos, all kinds of things. Of course I pay for it, and I'm able to download the license for the music that I use. Something that's really important. Please avoid uploading any content that you don't have the license to use on YouTube. Then I create a thumbnail, and ideally you would actually use just as much time creating your thumbnail as you would creating the video. But that's not the reality, at least for me, but it's the advice that you get from the more professional people, because the thumbnail is simply pretty determining for whether people will click on your video or not. So you cannot underestimate the power of a good thumbnail. And at the moment, I'm actually making it in PowerPoint. I'm not sure that is really the best thing, but it's working for me. And, I have a small computer with me. I don't have a lot of power. I'm not a graphic designer. So I'm just using the means that I have. And so far, it's working okay, but I'm sure I could improve in that area. And that goes for all of my work, of course. It's a constant journey. I think what's important is that you make the thumbnails recognizable, and that you keep in mind that people will look at YouTube on their smartphone, so the thumbnails are quite small. So keep it short, maybe just 1 word, 2 words, and keep the font quite big so it's actually readable in a small format. Then I start recording voiceover. And at the moment I'm doing it with the Rode wireless microphones. And I was talking about this in the last video, in the part 2. I got a question about how to connect the Rode receiver with the DJI Osmo action camera, and I just want to show you that. So you need to use the third-party adapter, the one that you're also using to record audio while writing, and then you need to use this cable, which to my knowledge is a TRS cable. The Rode also comes with the TRRS, which is the one with the 3 black stripes on, but for me that didn't work, so I am using the TRS, the 2 black stripes on both ends. I connect that here to the adapter, and then I connect that to the wireless receiver. So after these steps, I'm pretty ready to start editing the video, and I use a program called Motovlogging. It's not as advanced as some of the more professional programs, but I find that it's quite suitable for my computer and for my needs. I tried to use some of the more advanced programs, and I just found that it was way too slow on my computer. So for my purpose and editing while traveling, I find that Movavi is fitting my needs. Down in Scotland, down to the lowlands. And I just want to add a comment about audio, because it's really the thing that is the hardest to get right. And it is also the most important thing. It's actually more important than good video. And this is so hard when you motovlog and you travel, because I can't constantly check whether the audio is good enough. I have to trust that it's good enough. And it can really be a challenge. And sometimes I arrive in the evening and I realize that my audio was just horrible. Maybe the adapter fell out, and suddenly I can't hear anything of what I was saying. So at the moment I'm putting a little elastic band around here to avoid this one from coming out. And another challenge is that when I have the adapter with the microphone in my helmet, I'm hearing my voice really clearly, but I'm not hearing the voice of the people that I talk to. That is a challenge as well, that sometimes if I remember, I pull this one out and then the conversation is a little bit more equal audio-wise, but it's also a risk because obviously I cannot lose this one. So now it's all about editing, and in general it takes me about 5 to 8 days to make a travel video of about 20 to 30 minutes, and a video like the one I'm making right now will take me 1 to 2 days. So finally, I should of course be adding subtitles to my videos, and I'm not doing that at the moment. So that is something that I'm looking into. I want to go back and add subtitles to all of my videos, but it's a learning process for me, and I have to find a way where I can do it without that adding a lot of hours to my work process. So that is an exciting part of my journey as well. If you haven't watched part 1 and 2 yet, I strongly suggest you go back and watch those 2 episodes. And if you have any questions or any comments, I know we all do this very differently. Some use way more energy than me into writing a good script. Maybe that's something I'm going to do in the future. I don't know. It's all a learning process. And it would be really interesting to hear your input. How do you work? And your questions. So please feel free and give me a comment. If you like the video, then give me a thumbs up. And I'll see you in the next video. And Veronica has something on her mind.
Veronica is here for it.
So thank you so much for watching this part 3 of how I motovlog. Many greetings here from Veronica and me from Luanda in Angola. Ciao everybody. Ciao Veronica.
Ciao.
Ciao. Oh, now you're shy. Stop recording.
Yeah,
Stop recording.
Yeah.
Stop recording.